on the Texas A&M Sports Network. From Learfield, live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on Harvey Road in College Station. Welcome to the Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagle. Brought to you by 44 Farms, proud sponsors of Fightin' Texas Aggie Athletics. And by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. Now, the Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagle. Here's the voice of the Aggies, Andrew Monaco.
Howdy, Ags. So good to see everyone. 2023 debut of the Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagle. And he is right next to me. Coach Schloss.
Howdy.
Great turnout. Howdy, Coach.
Yeah, this is awesome. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Had some sunshine today.
We sure did.
So hopefully we'll have that. Hopefully we'll have that next Friday night. But we're all ready to get going. I know our fans are. 12th man's ready, and players are ready. I'm ready. Just got to make it through one more week of practice.
So for the next 60 minutes, we're talking 1980s Big East basketball.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Inside joke. Here we go. Buzz came into the baseball booth during one of the regionals and then in Omaha. And I told Schloss, well, you got to have equal time. If Buzz came into our booth, he's got to come courtside. But it has to be a game where we could get Buzz's attention. And then Schloss said, if I come on the air, that's all I'm talking is 1980s Big East basketball.
No, I told you I know how to run the flex offense and the picket fence from Hoosiers. But we can talk ACC basketball from the mid-'80s. We can talk the Big East from the mid-'80s. I'm still waiting on my invitation, and it's almost baseball season. So I think Wednesday against Arkansas is my last shot.
It has to be, because the greeting that I get from Schloss before he sits in maybe the greatest seats ever, right there for basketball, it's usually a punch in the kidney. So as he comes by behind. Coach, wonderful. The season, you say next Friday starts. Really, it started from the final out of Omaha, didn't it? The preparation for 2023.
Yeah, it starts even before that, because in today's college athletics, the recruiting cycle is earlier and earlier. We're recruiting guys that are in 8th, 9th, 10th grade now, and so you're constantly thinking about the next seasons ahead. But yeah, it was bittersweet. Anytime you end your season in the College World Series is a great thing, but at the same time, you understand how hard it is to get there. So when you get there, you want to win. We don't go there, we don't want to participate. We want to win the thing. So, but it was great. It was a great run. That team's been celebrated many times, which they deserve. But it's time to turn the page, and that'll be a great team to think about. 22 team for a very long time, very special group. But we like this group too. Yeah. And that doesn't guarantee us anything. I sat here last year and I said I'm not sure what kind of season we're going to have. But you can feel really good about the people and the people involved and the kind of young men they are and how much they care for Texas A&M, how hard they work. They're a joy to coach. We've had minimal, as a coach, you want all of your issues to be field related. You don't want your issues to be away from the field, right? And, with the exception of a few bad grades every now and then, knock on wood, these guys they truly are a joy to coach, and especially the older group. And it's a group that we're going to look pretty fondly back upon in the years to come.
You talk about those grades. You had a number of your student athletes on that court on Tuesday night, the AD honor roll.
Yeah, I think we had almost 30 guys make 3.0 or better out of about 42 guys. So, these kids are, they're achieving at a high level. And excellence in small things is excellence in all things. And I've never had an underachieving student be an overachieving player. You think about that for a second, right? Mm-hmm. If you're underachieving away from the field, you're not going to be an overachiever on the field. You're going to be an underachiever on the field too. And so, and it doesn't mean you have to have a 3.9 GPA. It just means you have to be the best version of yourself away from the field. And those kind of habits show up on a baseball field. And they separate you when the games are so close in a super regional or the SEC. And so, going into the season, what's going to dictate our success? Number one, health. Can our best players stay healthy? And number two, can they play well? And there's plenty of instances this time last year, Mississippi State's ranked in the top 5 and doesn't make the SEC tournament. And that can happen to anybody. this time last year we were picked 13th and we finished third. So 13th in the league and third in the countries, right? So, and our goal was to win the whole thing. But the past never equals the future in life, and the past never equals the future in baseball. So we just have to go play the games and see what happens.
Those expectations are completely different coming into this season, aren't they?
Well, the expectations maybe from the outside. I can tell you from the expectations within our program, within the players. I mean, our players this time last year, we don't talk any more or less about the College World Series today than we do last year. Right. I mean, those guys, Troy Claunch didn't come to A&M to, stink. He came here to be good and came here because he felt like this was the best place to give him a chance to be successful, and Jack Moss and all the other guys and myself and the coaching staff. So it worked out. But yeah, the expectations outside the program can never be higher than what we all have for ourselves. And I tell our, good competitive people, good players, they run toward expectation, right? There's a reason. I had one of my former players from TCU, Matt Carpenter, come and talk to our team, and he was talking about playing for the Yankees, and he was comparing that to the expectation. When he was talking to our team, he was talking about the expectations of playing for the Yankees relative to the expectations that we have. And he said, when a guy goes and plays for the Yankees, it goes one of two ways. They either thrive because they love it, they love the competitiveness, they love the fans, they understand if they don't play well, they're going to get booed and people are going to be upset. We don't want to boo our fans, we don't want to boo our guys at A&M, but you can boo me all you want, but not them. Or they're scared to death of it. Right. And so and he just talked to our team about that. And so our guys are ready, and it is what it is, and you have to go play the games. And you look at our division, I think all 7 teams in some poll are ranked. Yeah. We're preseason picked 5th in a poll, but it's 4th in our conference. So how crazy is that? Yeah. So none of that stuff means one single thing. You have to go play the games. You have to go play well.
You had to navigate, and there really wasn't anything you could do about this, but you had to navigate through the MLB draft, didn't you, to see who was going to be coming back? Yeah. So, our biggest recruits, we're super excited about the guys, the new guys coming in, but the biggest recruits are Brett Minnick, Austin Boast, and Trevor Werner. Yeah. And that's a statement to Texas A&M as a university. It's a statement to Bryan College Station. It's a statement to the baseball program and the 12th man that it means enough for these guys to turn down, 6-figure bonuses and opportunities to pursue their dream, to come back and be and there will always be Aggies, but to be an Aggie baseball player for one more season. And I think that I do believe it was the right choice for all 3. They have more to prove. They have things they need to refine in their game so that when they enter professional baseball, they're ready to advance through the minor leagues. It's not about being a pro player. It's about being a major league player. Right. And so yeah, that was from a recruiting standpoint and getting through the major league draft. And then, Jace Lavalette, is a high-profile player, but he's not the only guy. There's a lot of our incoming players. If they would have said, yes, I'm signable for $500,000, then they would have been drafted somewhere. But when the guys say, listen, to get me out of my experience at A&M, you got to give me, $3 million or $1 million or whatever that is, then that's going to put them in that puts the price tag. And if a team wants to meet that, they do. If they don't, then they pass. But at the end of the day, yeah, we're excited about the guys that came back and the guys that came in. And you're not selfish saying, you have to come play for me. If it's that opportunity for them, you're really honest with the recruits and with your own players.
Yeah, I mean, Asa Lacy is in our ballpark every day. He was the 4th or 7th pick of the draft, whatever it is. That was a good time to go. Right. I just think that I'm just such a big believer that baseball is not a career choice. Baseball is a dream that we hope works out. And Chris Cortez is here. He's super talented. I want him to want to be a major league player. He's got a chance to be a major league player. But if you think about this, I told somebody today, one of our players, if you sign let's say you sign in your junior year, you're 21 or 22 years old. It takes you a year and a half to make the big leagues, so you're 24. Say you play, the average career in the big leagues is less than 3 years, 2 years or so. Let's say you sign at 22 and you play in the big leagues and your career's over at 30. That means right now your baseball career is Chris Cortez's, I hope it's longer, but Chris Cortez's baseball career he's 19 or 20, it's way over half over. Yeah. And everybody in here that's my age or more knows that 30's really young. And 30 sounds really old to Cortez and sounds really young to you and I.
Yeah.
Right? So you have way over half of your life you're not going to be a baseball player.
Yeah.
You're not going to be a baseball player. So you use the baseball to advance the rest of your life. Right? You get your A&M degree or whatever school you're at, and then, or at least get close to it, and then you want to go out and chase baseball. Awesome. But just understand, the guys that are in minor league baseball for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, every year they're in the minor leagues, they're 1 year behind their graduating class. So the kid who wasn't a baseball player, who was a business major at A&M or an engineer or whatever, so while Johnny the baseball player's in A-ball, this guy's climbing the ladder in his profession. And then all of a sudden, you don't make the big leagues, and now wait a minute, I'm 29 and I haven't finished my degree, or I have no work experience. I'm not saying that doesn't work out for those guys, but that's a big challenge. And I've been coaching 33 years, and one consistent theme, and this is, I don't want to be negative, but this is just fact. The better the player in college, usually the further behind in life they become. So there's a guy for the Los Angeles Dodgers who's the president and general manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who was my bullpen catcher at Tulane, and his name's Andrew Friedman.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a great player, but he was on our team, and he went out and got his business degree and got into baseball, and all of a sudden he's a 27-year-old general manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, takes him to a couple World Series, ends up, now he's running the Dodgers at $5 or $6 million a year, and he's hiring all of his ex-teammates who went out and played minor league baseball.
Right.
And that's fact.
Yeah.
So what I encourage our players to do is do both. Chase baseball and chase whatever your chosen profession is at the same time, so that when you're finished, that you can enter the rest of life, right? Where the rest of us are. So anyway, I don't know how we got all on that, but I'm so excited. Werner's already graduated.
Yeah.
Minnick, Bose. I mean, for those guys to go out in professional baseball and already have their degree, like, how awesome is that? Like, they can't lose. Like, just go have a good baseball experience and see what happens.
Smack me in the face. Previous life of mine, minor league baseball, Twins organization. Ron Gardenhire, first manager that I had. I'm about 25, 26. And Jeff Rebele has a conversation with Ron Gardenhire. And Reb thinks his career's over at 24, 25 because he can't get past Double-A. And it hit me, it smacked me, Schloss, because it was like, I'm just starting my career. This kid thinks his career's... Now, he ended up going to the major leagues because of Gardy. But I'm thinking like that. There's all those guys. How many Double-A teams are there around it, right? And all guys in that same position, to your point, you have to position yourself at some point, whether you play 20 years or not, for what's next, correct?
Yeah, no doubt about it, which is why you go to college, which is why you get as much of your degree complete, and then stay connected. One of the great things about being an Aggie is the Aggie Network, and so you utilize that. You stay connected to those people. Troy Claunch is playing pro ball right now, but he's still connected, right? And Asa, I didn't coach him, I coached against him, but he's still connected. So, did somebody just hiss out there? Was that a hiss?
I don't know.
Just because I coached at TCU. Anyway.
I'm sure you're forgiven by now. You know that.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, no, it's those they get it, and we want them to be big leaguers. I think that's great. It's awesome. But there's just more than life than baseball, and I'm excited for our players. We have more of the Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagle. We will continue from Rudy's 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Stay with us. This is Aggie Baseball from Learfield. This segment of the Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagle is brought to you by our friends at 44 Farms, who invite you to enjoy their premium all-natural Angus beef by visiting 44steaks.com. 44 Farms is the official beef of Fightin' Texas Aggie Athletics. And he'll probably drop a Bob McLaren on us, name dropper over there, right? What a great supporter, huh? Yeah, let me also mention that Mr. McLaren and 44 Farms is sponsoring our banquet Saturday night. First pitch banquet on Saturday? Yeah, and so super thankful to him. He's been a great friend, and what a great baseball man, and so he's been a really good mentor and advisor and friend for me during my time here at A&M.
So first pitch banquet on Saturday. You also have former player BP on Saturday and a scrimmage on Saturday, don't you?
Yeah. We'll be scrimmaging out there tomorrow night. If anybody wants to go ahead and practice putting their blanket around them. It'll be chilly. We'll be out there from about 5 to 8 tomorrow night. If anybody wants to come out and watch a little inter-squad game. And then Saturday, the former players, I think, will hit about 10. And then we'll stretch in about 11:30 and be playing by noon. So, yeah, would love to see everybody out. I want to mention my man, Zach Johnson, right here.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah, this is my guy,
Thank
Zach.
you for being here.
Yeah, so Zach and I go way back from the Shriners College Classic. When I was coaching at TCU, he was one of our guys that was kind of assigned to our team, and he was in our dugout when I was at TCU. But this dude is all Aggie right here. And so even –
Zach, come here. We need to put you on camera.
Yes.
Come here. Come.
Yeah,
stand to the right of Coach. Yeah.
So –
and just look right in here because we stream on the A&M Baseball Facebook page.
Yeah, so this is my guy right here.
This is Zach.
So I remember I'm the coaching at TCU, and I think we were playing the Aggies, and like he couldn't wait to talk to Coach Childress, and he couldn't wait to talk to Asa Lacy, and he couldn't wait to talk to like all these guys. Like, dude, you're in our dugout. And now I come to A&M, and I have to ship him every single piece of clothing that we ever get, right, to take care of him. But no, this is my guy, man. I love this guy.
Zach, thanks for coming up.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
Still has the lineup card from that game.
Yeah. But he's
wait, the Aggie lineup card? Oh, it was his.
I gave him the lineup card.
There you go.
I gave him the lineup.
At least he has that.
Yeah.
Schloss, coming up to this year, getting ready for Friday, I'm a big believer iron sharpens iron. When your hitters face your pitchers and your pitchers face your hitters, how much better do they get going into a season?
Well, you like to think they both, they get better. I mean, I know they do, especially when you have in football, what do they call it, one-on-one? Or the
good versus good? Good on good?
Good on good, yeah. When you have, Detmer facing, a lineup that starts with, Haas and Moss and Boast and Werner and Minnick and all those guys. You'd have to ask Cortez that. But I think I like the depth of our team at this point, the depth of our pitching staff, the depth of our players. We have some really good young players, Caden Kent, Justin Bassos, Cason Wells, Max Crawford. These guys are good players. Yeah. And now, they're coming onto a team that has a lot of older players, right? And so, I don't care if you're young or old. The guys that play the best play the most. But the future of our program, I'm extremely excited about. And, we've talked about the transfer portal before and things like that. And guys like Kent, LaViolette, Bassos, Cason Wells, Crawford, on the position player side, there's a lot of Lampkin, Sadeo, Cortez, obviously. There's a really good group of core young players where we're going to turn this baseball program over to them. It's not going to be Boast and Minnick and Werner, after this year. So, and Aggie, the 12th man, Aggie fans should be super excited about that because they're talented. And they're good players, but I don't even know what the question you asked me was.
It was about your hitters making your pitchers better and your pitchers.
I think they make each other better.
This is like Buzz on Monday, isn't it? But Buzz, here's the difference. Buzz eventually comes around and realizes what I asked.
He does.
Yeah. Not always, though, right?
I'm sure he can also bench press more than me. Yeah.
Buzz is in pretty good shape.
And he's a better dresser. But I can coach college basketball. I can coach college basketball before he can coach college baseball.
I guarantee that. Yeah. I guarantee that. I guarantee. No, when he was in the booth, if you remember, the Aggies were batting, and he called the Aggies possession.
Yeah.
That's a basketball term, right?
I know.
Not in that bat. So,
I know. Ask Coach Rockeford. He'll tell you.
Can I tell the Rock story, by the way?
Sure.
You don't even know what it is.
Sure.
We're in New York. We're in the Team Hotel, New York, NIT, semifinal, final. Rock, I'm going into the team room, and Rock goes, hey, would you text Schloss and ask if Buzz and I can go to Vanderbilt? Yeah. Can we go on that trip? And as I start texting, I go, how the heck do you know Schloss? I said, I'm going to text it, so I text it. And he tells me they were together at Tulane. more to that story that I'm not going to tell,
Right.
what he told me there.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, the text I get back is, you tell Rock if we have room, he can come.
For sure.
But you two together at Tulane, he's another big baseball fan.
Yeah, he's a huge baseball guy. Yeah, he was the recruiting coordinator in basketball, and I was the recruiting coordinator in baseball, and we lived across the hall from each other in an apartment in New Orleans 25 years ago. And so now we're both working at A&M. So, but yeah, I was kidding. Goodness gracious, on Coach Williams. He's awesome. I think one thing I love about him is he's super connected to our department.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie among the head coaches is good. And he'll shoot me a text after a game. I'm always texting him after the game. Encouraging him. Say, hey, awesome win, safe trip home, stuff like that. And that, at a place like this, especially. That's important, and he's somebody that I can ask questions to, and vice versa. So our seasons, crossover weird, so we don't get a whole lot of time together. But I'm just a big fan of Buzz Williams.
When they came to Omaha, and that was, I thought, a thrill that he was there. Apparently, he told Rock, we're going to Omaha. Rock said, I have to go see a recruit, and he told Rock, your boss just told you we're going on a plane. We're going to Omaha. But you love that, right? When you have
can I miss some games?
Because you're everywhere. You're everywhere on this campus. You go to as many sporting events as you possibly can.
Yeah. I mean, what else am I going to do? I mean, I can only beat around the players so long, but if they go to the Sweet 16, can I bail on a baseball game to go?
Yes. Because I'm going to tell you, if they go to the Sweet 16, I'm bailing on the baseball team too.
Yeah, I'm not missing that. There's 1,000 baseball games. There's only one Sweet 16. So Yeski and those guys can handle it for one day.
Gotcha.
Or I'll just get run out in the first inning and catch a flight and go.
Deal. Absolute deal.
Do it.
Still more Aggie Baseball Hour to come. Jeremy McMillan is up next. We're going to talk with the head strength and conditioning coach for Texas A&M. A little bit later on, we're going to talk to Chris Cortez as the Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagle rolls on from Rudy's. This is Aggie Baseball from Learfield. Baseball and barbecue lovers know the perfect brisket needs the right wood, and Rudy's smokes all their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com. That's where we are, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. And we know that we will be here in March, in April, in May, and we certainly hope we're back together in June for Aggie Baseball Hours with Jim Schlossnagle. Jeremy McMillan, kind enough to join us, head strength and conditioning coach, year number 12. J-Mac?
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
How about this group that you get to work with? I was talking with Jack Moss earlier. He said he put on some muscle and is just absolutely thrilled getting a chance to work with you.
Yeah. There's never a dull moment with this group. I get to spend more time with these guys from early in the morning. I have access to them year-round. My area is challenging. It's early in the morning. It's sometime later in the day. I have to work around our schedule in terms of the baseball piece of it. And so, for me, a lot of times I'm asking the guys to do things that they haven't been able to do before, to answer a challenge. And so for some of those guys, it's losing weight. Some of those guys, it's gaining weight. Some of the guys, it's just quality of movement, right? So each of them are definitely a puzzle, and they need certain things to improve their performance on the field. And so that's the joy of what I get to do on a daily basis, is because they're never the same. And you might be running a program of 35, 40 guys, but they all need very individual things in terms of the developmental piece.
You made sure to keep him, didn't you?
Yeah, for sure. I think, people don't realize, Coach Mack, he's obviously super, super talented at the science of strength and conditioning, which, years ago used to be how much weight can you throw around. And now it's a movement science, is how can we help Hunter Haas be a better mover and get stronger? How can we help Ryan Prager, right now recover from an injury, those kind of things. But his immense value for me is instilling and maintaining the culture of our program, because the amount of time that the players spend around our coaching staff doesn't remotely compare to the amount of the time that our players spend around Coach Matt. And so, and the same would be true I'm assuming in basketball or the other sports. And so it's kind of like if you have your mom and your dad, and if dad holds you to one set of rules, but you can kind of go over to mom and she lets you get away with a little bit of this and a little bit of that, or you can maybe, dad will give you $5 or mom will give you 10. I mean, then it's never going to be right. And so the beauty of Coach Mack and I is that we're very aligned on discipline. We're very aligned on energy. We're very aligned on being on time, right? And I'm a huge believer in I don't even like to use the word strength conditioning because I think it's more I think that implies just lifting weights.
Yeah.
But I'm just a huge believer in everything that he does, and I have his back 9,000%. And if a kid screws up in there, they're not playing baseball. They're just not going to play.
Right.
You know, they're just going to we'll just go home. We don't need you here. And so if I can believe in X, Y, and Z, but if Coach Mack doesn't support X, Y, and Z and believe the same thing, then we're a sinking ship. And we're not a sinking ship,
right.
And that's because of him.
Yeah, ultimately it will come back and haunt you. And with that relationship, how proud are you of the Aggies who have been drafted and you see playing MLB?
Oh, incredibly. I mean, the what it takes to get to that level. I mean, yes, it requires a certain amount of talent, but I mean, you have to work day in and day out. You know, when those guys get out of college, they don't have the support net that they have in college. They don't have the strength conditioning coach. They don't have the athletic trainer. They don't have the nutritionist. You don't have nearly the resources. And so you have to show up every day on your own, and you have to put in the time and work, the effort, the discipline to continue to get better at your craft. And so to see those guys reach that level, it's definitely rewarding to get to be a part of that journey with them, and then continue to watch them play and grow.
To use the cliche, it becomes a life lesson for them, right? It's something they can do for the rest of their life, can't they? Mm-hmm. The lift and just being in their best shape.
Oh yeah, and it changes for them. Like Coach said, I mean, to really pigeonhole us into like strength, you know, and I agree with Coach in terms of that term. The industry's moved a totally different direction in terms of that. There's such thing as strong enough to play the game of baseball. There are so many other things that are far more important. You know, when you take strength, what becomes more important is power. How fast can you use your strength? And so, and the biggest thing is movement quality. You know, if you're strong, you can run fast, you can jump high, but you can't rotate well, you don't sequence well, all of it's for naught. I mean, you're just basically trying to slap a Band-Aid on it by adding more strength to the equation, and that's not going to maximize their performance and continue to separate them from guys in college or in professional baseball that have the same kind of talent.
So you had to learn also as a coach these other aspects to bring out the best in the student athletes, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. And so, you know, I'm 40 years old now. Don't feel like it. But, you know, I tell our interns all the time, you know, the day you stop learning is the day you need to move on. You need to find a new job. And so I love what I do. And so, like Coach says, it's a lifestyle. And so whether I'm at work, I'm at home, my wife would tell you I need to do a better job of that a little bit sometimes. But I love what I do. And so I'm constantly in books. I'm constantly researching. I'm finding ways to make our guys better. It's never ending. So you have to.
That's Jackie, who's the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 10, right?
She is. Yeah, she's somewhere.
Raise your hand. There we go.
Class of 10?
Class of 10, yeah.
2010. Yeah, 2010. How did the time with the Rams impact your career?
Oh, so I think the biggest lesson I learned from that is not want to be in professional sports. So, you know, for me and what I do, there's not a large development piece there. And getting away from the college game and then coming back to college, I realized getting away from it, there was no development piece. Like, it was a very different world. It was very organized. It was very meeting-driven. Mm-hmm. The communication piece operated at a very high level. But in terms of my specific area, there wasn't a lot of development going on. And so it very quickly showed me that this is not what I want to do. This is not where I want to be. The whole accolades of, hey, you're in professional sports, it's not all it's cracked up to be. The college game is so exciting. It is development driven in my area. And just getting to be around that environment is incredible. It's you don't get that when you're at the professional level. I didn't.
Does it amaze you sometimes seeing the kid who comes in at 18 and walks off this campus at 22?
Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible because the amount of work that they have to put in, both physically and mentally, but just as a human being. I mean, you get a chance to influence these guys, like Coach said. Like, my main job, besides what I do in the weight room and outside on the field teaching movement, is to uphold the culture piece. And so that's something that's woven into everything that we do, and it needs to be woven into everything we do. You know, if a guy goes into the weight room and has to do a set of 3 on a front squat, you know, what are you getting better at? You're getting better at front squatting. You're getting better strength, but the intention behind every rep, we're always relating that to the game of baseball. When our hitters go in the box, they command the box. They take a breath. They have a routine. And so it's no different than when you approach that bar. We're constantly trying to find ways to involve everything of our culture piece into every aspect of what we do in the weight room or outside with our movement.
Once they realize that connection, right, of what all this work that I put in is now paying off for me on the field, sky's the limit after that, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is they start pulling guys in the right direction. You know, you start grabbing a guy. And that's the true part of leadership, is not doing what you're supposed to do, leading by example. That doesn't exist, right? That's the expectation. And so the true example of leadership is grabbing the next guy, and pulling those guys all in the right direction. And it's no mistake when you look at our program, the guys a lot of times that are the most successful have the best routines, they're the best prepared, they sleep the best, they have the best nutrition habits. They're the guys that are automatic. I continue to guide them, I give them what they need to do, and they run it off the exact way, if not try to do it better than what we outlined for them. So it's no mistake it happens that way.
So if Coach talks about coach-led, coach-fed, player-led, you want player-led.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
I think that's the true sign, the true definition of a great program. And so if it's constantly having to come from us, then it's truly not a high-standard culture. And so that has to eventually be passed off to the players, and they have to be able to execute that at an extremely high level.
Thank you so much for this time.
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
it.
Enjoyed being with you guys.
This was great. Schloss, great example.
Yeah, he's the best.
He is,
he's
isn't
awesome.
he? Absolutely. Jeremy McMillan. Joining us, Chris Cortez next. Stay with us, Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagle. This is Aggie Baseball from Learfield. Mas Fajitas is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. Come by, see us at our College Station location. It's off Highway 6 for great food, great drinks, great service. Mas Fajitas, proud partner, Texas A&M Athletics. There's a lot of food on our shows. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems to follow you around, buddy.
Yes, it does. Chris Cortez joins us, pitcher, fighting Texas Aggies. But I'm going to give Jim the first word. How good was he at the women's clinic?
Yeah. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Really showed me something, and proud of him. And this guy's he's really showed his personality. He shows that he can have a good time, and did a nice thing for his mother, which is always good.
Yeah, my mom loved that.
Your mom loved that?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Claims he has the best hair on the team.
I do have the best hair on the team.
Yeah.
Not right now. It's a little snappy right now.
Yeah. But
you know what we might have to do all spring? Keep track of everybody Coach brings.
Yeah.
So you're in the lead.
Yeah, he has.
Clubhouse leader right now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have two lines in the side of my head right now, so it's not.
You need to talk about what Chris did over the break with Mikado and Trevor Werner and their mission trip.
Did you go on that mission trip?
I did.
Did
yes.
you?
Yep.
How was it?
It was life-changing.
Was it Haiti?
It was Santiago. Dominican. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. I went thinking that I was going to change their lives, and they ended up changing my life. And it's not something that I'd ever exchange. It was huge for me and my process in my life, I guess. Yeah.
I have to tell you that Mikado, there's a couple people in the athletic department. Mikado, Antonio for basketball are two people that make your life better, make your day better because you're with them, but make your life better. Mikado is huge. Love him. But that trip, I think you encapsulated it. You go in thinking it's going to be one way, but everyone that you meet there really does. As you say, it changes you, doesn't it? How much more of an appreciation do you have now?
It gives me a new perspective on life. We went giving water filters, and the way they treated us was with a smile. It was like you wouldn't know they're going through hard things. It's just their normal life.
I got to tell you this story.
Yeah.
Dalen Mack, football player, right? So this was a couple years ago. He had gone, and there was a kid in Haiti, and they played checkers every single day. Kid wanted to play him in checkers, and he smoked Dalen every single time. So of course, all his teammates, Dalen's teammates, are coming around. They want to see Dalen get beat time and again. This kid was a whiz in checkers, and Dalen said the smile, Chris, the smile that when he saw Dalen come up, and he was carrying the checkerboard, Dalen said, you know what? I don't have any troubles any longer. What I think is absolutely insignificant, but this guy smiling. And just a little over a year ago, I asked Dalen, do you stay in touch? And he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff is life-changing. Now, I understand when you're on the mound, and I get that there's 2 outs and you need 1 more strike. But does it put things in perspective for you that you – and here's another thing. You get to play a game.
I get to play this
right?
game.
You don't have to, right? You get to play it. I get the importance, but for you, is that perspective? For someone being, when I say young, it's nice to have that at your age, isn't it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm playing a game that I love, and it's just for fun. There's people all around the world going through harder things than I'm doing, and I get to pitch in front of 6,000 Aggie fans. There's nothing better I can do than that.
As a pitcher in the Aggie dugout, or if you're in the bullpen, when you hear the ball 5 chant,
I get into it.
I was going to say, any sympathy at all for the other pitcher?
Not at all. Not at all. I want to get on that rail and go with the crowd.
Will Johnston told me something today, was talking with him about I'm not going to get the phrase right, but if you hear us howling in the bullpen, we're going to be a group of hungry
Wolfpack.
Howling Wolfpack.
We're the Wolfpack.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear this
stuff. Nor do I really want to know.
Oh, we're the Wolfpack now. We break out in the bullpen and we howl.
I can't wait for this year.
Yeah.
This is going to be fantastic. You're going to start something there. You know that.
Yeah.
How was your first
As long as
season?
the Wolfpack throws strikes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Or he'll be howling.
This
right?
will be a strike-throwing Wolfpack.
And
sure.
field your position and know the signs.
All those things, yeah.
How was the adjustment, high school to college?
It was big. I moved across the country.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I had a lot of people backing me. Coach Yeski. It made it feel like home. It wasn't big. My father taught me how to live life on my own. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't too big of an adjustment.
Because that can be some of the bigger adjustments for freshman candidate, the schedule, the time management.
Yeah, the thing you got to understand about Chris is he had already made a decision, to go to the University of Arizona, which is a lot closer to Las Vegas, where Chris is from. And then, things transpired where, Texas A&M has a new coach, and then we hire the pitching coach from Arizona, and Coach Yeski, and the head coach at Arizona goes to LSU. And so now, it's the middle of the summer before he's supposed to enroll in school.
Yeah.
And how long had you been committed at U of A? Probably over a year, 2 years?
Yes, sophomore year.
Yeah, two or three. So imagine that for 2 years, you're completely planning on going to one place, and then a month and a half before school starts or 2 months before school starts, you're going to go to College Station, Texas. Yeah. Right? And what a great thing that is. But he, that was a big leap of faith for Chris. Mm-hmm. It was really a big leap of faith with Chris in Coach Yeski, because that's where the relationship was. And then we got to know each other, and now, it's just funny how the Lord works. It's funny how life works. You think one thing is going to happen, and then you get turned in a completely different direction. And so, I coached at UNLV for 2 years, long before. Well, really before Chris was born, probably. What year were you born?
2002.
Oh, geez. That was my first year as the head coach at UNLV.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
Scott Glendenin reminds me. Big hug after the Super Regional with Nate Yeski. What's he mean to you?
I don't use the word love lightly, and I love that man. That's what he means to me.
What is the Nate Yeski effect on pitchers?
He's a wizard. Yeah. He knows a lot about baseball. He's really good at developing you. Mm-hmm. I came in not really developed, just through fastballs, because that's all I had to do in high school. And now I'm developing other pitches, mental side of things. He's done a lot.
Will Johnston said he will not try to put you in a box, that he's going to find out who you are and work to your strengths. You might be different from you as a pitcher, from you as a pitcher. And that's special, because there's some pitching coaches, it's going to be this way. That's all. You remember Walt Reniak. Everybody had to keep their head down, right? You came down on the ball. Charlie Lau, same thing, right? Everybody in the White Sox organization, that's how they hit. But with Coach Yeski, what does Chris do best, right? And that's got to be empowering for you.
There's no rule book. Whatever you do best, that's what you go out and you do on the field.
Because that's the confidence, right?
Yep.
No one can – I'm going to use another buzz thing. A team – the Aggies play Aggie basketball better than anybody else can. Chris pitches like nobody else, right? He's got to pitch like Chris Cortez.
Yeah, I mean, the very best players, I said this earlier today, the very best players are the ones that are self-aware, right? And so they know what they're good at. They know the things they have to get better at. And Chris can't go out and pitch like Nathan Detmer, and Nathan can't go pitch like Chris. And so Chris is super talented. We all know that. What people don't know, and you're seeing a little bit of glimpse of it, like this guy has the greatest heart as great of a heart of any player that I've coached in 33 years. Like, he cares more about his teammates and winning and Texas A&M than he does his own personal success, and it's not even close, right? And that's all he cares about. And what's going to happen for Chris is he's going to get life. I have a saying, the game knows. Well, life knows too, and it's going to pay him back. It already has, and now he's gone on this mission trip, and it's completely changed his life personally. It's changed his faith. And so, like, we're looking at a guy that, hopefully he pitches in the big leagues if he stays healthy. He certainly has the ability to do that, but this guy's going to be an awesome husband. He's going to be a great leader. He's going to be a great dad. Anything he wants to be good at, he can be great at, because that's kind of heart he has.
So I looked at the bio, and he hit .410 in high school. So my question to him is, how would Chris Cortez pitch to Chris Cortez, the hitter?
Don't even start.
Huh?
Off-speed pitches. I can't hit a curveball. Yeah, that's why I pitch now. Yeah.
That's why I pitch now.
Yeah.
For your downtime, how do you like to get away from the game?
I just stay at home with my dog.
Yeah?
Yeah, got a new dog. His name's Kodak. Roommates hate him, but, I love him.
What kind of dog?
He's a lab and golden retriever mix.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, he's a little Tasmanian devil. Yeah.
He said that with a smile.
Yeah, but I love the guy.
I want you to have another great season. All SEC freshman team. I hope the sophomore is even better. Nothing but success for you and this team. Can't thank you enough for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. He's Chris Cortez, fighting Texas Aggies. One more segment of the Aggie Baseball Hour with Jim Schlossnagle. We return to Rudy's. This is Aggie Baseball from Learfield. Hey, 12th man, there's really no better way to describe the uniqueness of Walk-On Sports Bistro. We start every dish from scratch and use fresh ingredients to bring our mouth-watering Cajun cuisine to life. And whether you're here for dinner with the family, date night, cocktails with the girls, or to watch a game on the big screen, we're always happy to share our Louisiana culture with you. Walk-On's proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. That's our friends Corey and Jenny have Walk-Ons. This is the Aggie Baseball Hour. Jim Schlossnagle. Lightning round, final segment. You know what? Maybe in March we talk about the team. My apologies. Always good to talk about other things with you, though. Rules changes are coming, and a couple of questions here about them. Any that you're glad to see? Any that you're not happy to see?
I'm not a big fan. I think one of the beauties of baseball is there's no clock. You actually have to play all 27 outs or more. But you're trying to, increase the pace of play, so the powers that be came up with a pitch clock, which we've had. Don't need to dive into the whole thing, but basically this year is different. The pitcher's only allowed to – the hitter has to be ready to hit at the 10-second mark. Last year it was the 5-second mark. So, they start the clock. The ball gets back to the pitcher. 20 seconds begins. The hitter's got to be in the box ready to go at the 10-second mark. And then if the pitcher can only step off one time per batter, he can't do the fake throw over. You can pick off as much as you want, but you can only step off once. So you're going to see the game's going to go faster. There's no doubt about it. And so it's been a big adjustment. I think there's going to be a lot of speed bumps in this thing for umpires, for coaches, for players. But that's the thing you're going to see, the most. So. I don't care how somebody said, are you excited about maybe playing 2.5-hour games if we win?
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
I don't care if we play 8-hour games. I mean, as long as we win, when the game's over, if we have one more run than the other team, that's fine with me. So, but yeah, I mean, it is for the novice fan, for the fan that doesn't want to sit through 4.5 hours of baseball, 4 hours of baseball, and to fit in a television window that they would prefer to be closer to 3 hours. Yeah, I get it, but that's what we have coming.
With your team, though, you can wear down a pitcher by fouling off 2-strike pitches and all of that. You guys don't give at bats away. Jim?
Well, last year's team didn't. We'll see how this one does. We have a lot of those guys back, but people think we're up there trying to draw walks. No good hitter has ever gone to the plate saying, "Wow, I hope I really draw a walk today."
Right.
No one does that. It's about getting your pitch. So, Ted Williams, The Science of Hitting, the book he wrote, sentence 1, page 1, get a good pitch to hit, right? And so, whether that's the first pitch or the 8th pitch, that's what our philosophy is. It's swing at strikes and take balls. And the thing that you have to get over, though, is when you're that kind of a team, you are going to strike out a lot. Mm-hmm. And what happens, and umpires hate when I say this, but our players, Jack Moss knows the strike zone better than the umpire. Yeah. He knows what's a strike and he knows what's a ball. And that ball, the ball that's a ball and a half off the plate that some umpires will call for a strike in college baseball, I don't care if Jack strikes out on that pitch because he can't hit it, right? And he can't hit it well. And I don't want him trying to swing at it because over the course of the year, that pitch will be called a ball. So yeah, that's our games went long last year for a lot of that reason.
Pleasure, my friend. Thank you. February 17th, home opener, that opening series against Seattle U. He's Jim Schlossnagle. This has been the Aggie Baseball Hour. Mac, thank you. Chris Cortez, thank you. Kevin Menchauser, engineer. Cale Rollins, the producer in our Learfield studios. This is Aggie Baseball from Learfield.